StraighTAllDay.com.
There are three things specifically that every man at his core wants. I'm going to explain what those three things are here today. Now, while every man is, of course, unique, we're all different. We all come from different backgrounds. We have different interests, different things that we pursue, and different ways of going about those pursuits, even if the pursuits may be similar. And we all have different circumstances that we're dealing with and different needs at different times for different reasons and in different seasons in our lives. What I'm going to lay out here today are some general truths about men in general, about what any man wants on some level, regardless of these differences that I've already allowed for. Some want these things more than others, but every man wants them on some level at some point for some reason. Today, I'm going to explain all of that. Let's get right to it. Point number one. Today's topic, once again, is that three things that men at our core all want. Number one, the physical capability of doing things that most other men cannot do. Every man wants this. Now, different men go about manifesting this in different ways, but we all want it. This is usually reflected when men want the ability to do things other men can't do through some form of physical exertion or athletic competition. This can be something like playing a sport. I can play soccer or basketball better than you. This could be physical fighting, which can be a sport, but it can be done outside of the realm of actual sanctioned sports. It can be making money, is a thing that a man can physically do better than other men. It can be accumulating trophies, plaques, awards, or job titles, which is something you can do wearing a suit and tie. You don't have to sweat to do it. But again, remember the point. The physical capability of doing things that most other men cannot do, or having done things that most other men have not done or could not do. This is very important to men. Men have this drive of wanting to achieve and do things and have things that other men don't. If you go into any man's personal space, whether it be his office, whether it be his home, it could be a locker at work, it could be his home office, it could be a business office, anywhere where he's working. It could be the garage. You go to a car garage and it's a proprietorship. Somebody owns that, an individual person. You'll see, what are you going to see there? You'll notice men tend to go and display our trophies in those places. Men tend to display trophies. Why do we display trophies? Well, first of all, let's look at what kind of trophies we're talking about. We're not just talking about athletes with their championship awards. You also see it in offices of service professionals. What do you see in a service professional's office? If we have any service professionals listening to this right now, whether you are in your actual office at an office building, or you have an office at home, or maybe you have both, what do you see in there? In both of them, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see doctors and lawyers. They have their degrees and their certifications posted on the wall. If you're running a small business, you may have your first dollar framed up on the wall somewhere. If you're an athlete, you have athletic trophies or pictures of things that you did on the wall. Every man who is listening to this, if you have your own space that you can decorate as you wish, I guarantee that somewhere in that space you have some of your trophies on display, so that you and everyone else, whoever comes into that space, can see the things that you've accomplished. You have them on display. So either they'll bring them up or they'll just know that you have them. All right. All men do this. You'll even see this with, again, I told you, doctors and lawyers do it. They got their degrees up on the wall. Someone who has passed some type of certification, they have this up on the wall. People who hunt, you'll see they have heads of bears and deers that they have killed hung up on the wall. All men enjoy the feeling of having done certain things that they know that not all other men can do. Now, why do men do this? Why do men care about this? And the reason why men care about it is because we have testosterone. Testosterone is the male hormone that drives us to compete and achieve. That's one thing testosterone drives us to do: compete and achieve, to outdo other testosterone possessors, usually other men. Now, while there are some men out there who pretend as if this doesn't matter, or at least it doesn't matter that much to them, these men are just straight up lying. All right, they're lying. If there's any man listening to this who says these things don't matter, you're lying. I know that you're lying because I'm a man. Now, hopefully they're just lying. If you hear a man saying this, hopefully they're just lying to the outside world and not lying to yourself. You can lie to the outside world if you want. In some cases, it doesn't matter. But if you lie to yourself, that does matter. All right, don't tell yourself the lie that it doesn't matter. Now, just because a man doesn't show off a lot of things doesn't mean that he doesn't care that he has achieved and done things. All right, some men may not be so much into the showing off of what I have or what I've done, but doesn't mean that they're not still trying to have and do things that other men do not have and have not done. They still care. They just may not show it off as much. I know men who show off what they have and what they do every time they open their mouths because that's their thing. That's what works for them. Maybe it works for their marketing. Maybe it's just part of their personality. It doesn't really matter what it is. Some men let you know about it more often, but every man cares about it. That's the point. So any man trying to tell you that doesn't matter, they're lying. All right, every man wants this. And we don't all manifest this in the same way by doing the same things. We are all chasing it. So if you're a woman listening to this, make sure that you do not attack or question or hinder or even try to, sometimes you may not even need to understand why the men in your life seem to have such a drive for accomplishing and achieving things simply because you don't have this drive yourself because you're a woman. You have much more estrogen than you have testosterone. Estrogen is not about driving and achieving and competing. Testosterone is. You're not a man, so don't try to make sense of why a man is doing certain things that you would never think to do. And definitely do not try to hinder or talk down on a man doing the things that he does because they satisfy and fulfill him. Because again, this is a biological drive that he has within him. This is not something personal about his. It's not a personality quirk that he has. And some of you women have already violated this, I'm pretty sure, but hopefully you can fix it with what I'm telling you right here. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is 3 things that men at our core all want. Number 2, we want to have things that other men cannot have. In other words, what we're talking about here is, in this second point, this is generally expressed through the pursuit and possession of material possessions. Usually you get those material possessions by following what we talked about in point number 1. You can do things other men can't do, then you're going to have things other men don't have. Simple as that. All of these are connected. This is the main reason why, by the way, ladies, this is the main reason why men go to work every day and they give so much to their careers or their vocations or whatever they're doing, even their hobbies. The reason why men give so much to these things is to get the achievements, the recognition, and the trappings of conquest, even if they're doing it on the side. Because there are some men who listen to this and they may do a job that is not really that interesting to them. It doesn't really mean anything to them. It doesn't really matter that much to them, the job, because the job is just paying the bills and it may not even be many trophies to acquire at the job, they will have something that they do on the side, a side hustle or something that they do that's outside of work, and they dedicate themselves to that thing. And there's a reason why men dedicate themselves to things like this, simply because they need something to achieve and have and do and possess that their 9-to-5 job may not be providing the opportunity for it. So they go find another outlet for getting it. I'll use my dad as an example. He's a good example of this. My dad worked, he's retired now, but he worked at basically what was essentially a factory for about 30 years. He worked at this factory. And I've been to the place. I worked there in the summertime when I was a teenager once. And it was a factory. That's what it was. There was an office side to it, like the people who wore suits every day. He didn't work in that part. He worked in the factory part where you got your hands dirty. And there was nothing happening in that factory that could lead to what we're talking about here in point number 2, having things that other men cannot have. So he couldn't get this. He could not fulfill this second point through his 9-to-5 job. So my dad did other things. My dad was a musician on the side. That was his real passion, was music. His passion was not working in a fucking factory. His passion was music. So he would do his music when he wasn't at work. If he wasn't at work, he was doing either his music thing or he got into coaching youth baseball. So he still coaches youth baseball to this day. And as a matter of fact, in 2025, his team won the championship. I believe he's coaching 12-year-olds. And he won the championship in Philadelphia, his youth baseball team that he coaches. And that's a way of him achieving. And I'm sure he has plaques and pictures and stuff of all the awards that his teams have won that he's coached over the years. And this is a reflection of point number 2. Do I think my dad loves baseball that much? Maybe. Does he love working with kids that much? I would say probably more so than he loves just baseball. And there's also this, point number 2 here. He probably doesn't constantly think about this, but it's men want to have things other men can't have. So when he wins the championship, well, guess who didn't win the championship? All the other teams in the league. That's why you want to win the championship. This is the reason why we keep score in sports, because everybody can't win the championship. And again, men express this through the pursuit and possession of material possessions, or just the pursuit and possession of knowing that I did something that you can't do. Just being able to conquer something and defeat something. Interestingly enough, in the winter times, when I was in like high school even, was it high school? Yeah, we'll say middle school and high school. There was a rule in my house that my mom created. and enforced that I was not allowed to play video games on school days. So Monday through Thursday, I wasn't allowed to play video games. On Friday, I could play, Saturday and Sunday. And then as soon as school went back, Monday, I was not allowed to play video games. So I was the only one playing video games. Nobody else in my house played video games. But somehow, some way, I don't know when it happened, but my dad decided to get into video games. I think it was much more during the winter months, because in the winter, it ain't nothing you can do outside in the winter in Philadelphia. So he started playing video games, and what he would do is he would take the video game console and he would put it in the bedroom where my mom and dad slept during the week when I wasn't allowed to play it. He would just keep it in there, and he would get home from work. He would play the video game. Like, there were times, this is no joke, I would wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I would walk past my parents, because my bedroom was next to my parents' room. And my dad, you would see the glow from the TV. He was fucking playing the video game at 2 o'clock in the morning. And he would like master these video games and get really, really good at the game. Now, I don't know why he was doing this. I don't think he was doing it just so he could beat me. So when he first started playing, I was beating him. Eventually, he got good enough to where it was competitive. I don't think he was really doing it to beat his son. I think he was doing it because he just needed something to conquest. He needed something to defeat. And again, he couldn't get it at his job. So he said, let me go defeat the video game. I'm giving you this as an example. Men will find something to defeat because we need it. This is part of our drive in having testosterone. It's the reason men go to work every day. And usually everything that happens in point number 2 is a result of what we've done in point number 1. When you can do something other people can't do, you end up having things that other people can't have. So when I can do something, i.e. play a video game better than you, then I have something. I got the championship in the game, or I defeated the game that other people can't do. I have something other people can't have, excuse me. The reason why trophies are given out in sporting competitions is because everybody can't get a trophy. This is the reason why participation trophies are a bad idea. Because if everybody gets one, what's the point of me competing to win the trophy? If everybody gets one. The very point of there being a scarcity of trophies is what makes the trophy valuable, and it's the very reason why people go after it, because there's not one for everybody. If there's one for everybody, why do I want it? If only 1 or 2 or 3 people get one and everyone else who participated goes home with nothing, that makes the 1 or 2 trophies extremely valuable. That's why people will try hard to get them. And it also fuels the drive in the masculine men or boys to go work on their games, get better, come back and try to win the next time because you didn't win this time. If you remove that drive for competition and achievement, you remove one of the main things that make men men. So again, if you're a female, please check yourself before you come out with a terrible idea, such as eliminating or even questioning a man's need or drive or desire for accumulating these things, whether he is saying it out loud or you can read it in his behavior. This is not your domain. Stay out of this business. Ladies, if you're going to get in this business, your job is only to support. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to make sense of it. Don't try to make it into a logical thing. Just stay the hell out the way and support. If you're going to get involved, your only job is to support. Otherwise, stay the hell out the way and be quiet. That's my instruction to the ladies. Okay? That's what he's supposed to be doing. You should be happy that he's doing this. Okay? You should be happy that your man has a drive to go and do whatever it is he's doing outside of work or on the weekends or even in work, because that drive is part of what makes him a man. And you should be happy he's like this, even if it's not quite your cup of tea, because if he stops having this drive for these things, okay, it may be a while before you have satisfying sex again. Not for nothing. Now, why is that? How am I connecting these two? I'm connecting these two, and I'm not even saying this as a metaphor, folks, by the way. This is not a metaphor. I mean this literally. Because if a man is not driven to go out and achieve and accomplish and win and conquer things, even if it's something that you may see as silly as a video game, if he's not driven to go achieve in that way, that means he's probably losing his drive in all areas, all right, including in the bedroom. So you should be happy if he has drive to go achieve anything, because that drive will translate into the kind of drive that would satisfy you. Okay. Furthermore, while we're on the topic, if a man clearly still has his drive to achieve, yet for whatever reason, such as you having a problem with him going and achieving in the way that he chooses to go and achieve, you're having a problem with that, or you're nagging or henpecking or bothering him about the way that he wants to go achieve, and he still has the drive despite your disapproval of the fact that he's going and getting it, I want you to understand that may lead to the sexual activity between you and he not happening, right? Well, the thing is, you still have a problem. You just got a different problem. Because the man clearly still has drive and you're not seeing any of the benefits of that drive. Oh, the drive is still there. It's just, where's the drive going? You get my drift here, ladies? Do I need to say this more explicitly? If he still has the drive, if he has no drive whatsoever, that's when you should really be worried, because now he's no longer being a man. So you should not try to beat that drive out of him, even if you don't like it. And if he still clearly has the drive, but because for whatever reason, maybe something has nothing to do with this, but if it's something like you not liking the fact that he has a drive for doing certain things because you see them as silly or something that you would never do, yet he didn't lose the drive, he just pushes you away and the drive is still there. You see, he still has a drive for doing that thing. He still has a drive in every aspect of life. You're not feeling the benefits of that drive. You just have a different problem. Oh, you have a problem, just a different one. I don't know which one you want. They're both problems. I would suggest you avoid both problems by supporting the fact that he has the drive that he has and just be happy that he's doing what he's doing. Okay? This all leads to point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is 3 things that every man at our core we want. Number 3, men want access to women. I don't know if this is news to anyone. Men want access to women. Even men who are taken, spoken for, married, in a relationship, happily unavailable, men still at our core, at our base, primal, testosterone-driven core, we still want access to women. Let me explain what I mean by this. As human beings, women, ladies who are listening to this, women are hardwired to be attracted to men who show a combination of points number 1 and point number 2. Women are attracted to men who can do stuff that other men can't do, and they have things that other men can't have. Women are biologically attracted to these men. They can't even logically explain why, but they are. Every woman is. Men who are physically capable and men who have access to material things, who either they have them or they can access them. All women want those men. The highest level men are the men who can do stuff that other men can't, and they have stuff that other men don't have, period. Why? Because a man who is physically capable is subconsciously communicating to a woman that he can procreate. First of all, he can procreate. He has the physical capability of procreating with a woman. When a man shows he can physically do things, it's showing that his testosterone is firing on all levels. And when testosterone is firing on all levels, that means his balls are working. And that means his balls can produce reproductive juices. And those reproductive juices can go into a woman and you can reproduce human life. Everybody understand? Okay, I'm giving you the plain language biology of this. That's one thing that a man shows when he is physically capable. So a man who has big muscles, or a man who works out every day, or a man who can lift heavy weights is demonstrating without saying it to a woman, if we were to get intimate, I am capable of procreating because I can't have this kind of body and this type of physical capability if I didn't have a bunch of testosterone flowing through me. Whereas a man whose body looks soft, it doesn't look like, man, he might not be able to reproduce. Again, subconsciously. I'm not saying this is a literal translation all the time, but it's close enough. Everybody understand this? So that's the first thing he's communicating, that he can procreate. Now, he's also communicating through that same conversation that any offspring created through me, this man with these muscles and this physical capability to do stuff, that our offspring, me and you, woman, they will be physically capable. And a woman is hardwired because of her protection instinct. She wants her offspring to be as capable as possible. You don't want your offspring to be weak and frail and fragile. You want your offspring to be strong and tall and capable. Well, how does a woman produce a strong, tall, capable child? Well, you got to have a strong, tall, not tall, but I'm saying these is a figure of speech. Strong, tall, and capable man to procreate with. This is the reason why a man who is strong, tall, and capable on a subconscious level tends to attract the attention of a woman without saying a single word. The woman don't know anything about him. Just because he's strong, tall, and capable, the woman is interested. This is biology, folks. This is lizard brain level stuff. This is not consciously. This is lizard brain level stuff. Ask any man who's ever worked in a gym as a personal trainer. All right, he'll tell you. Ask him. Ask him about what I just told you. He'll tell you exactly. He'll confirm everything that I just told you. Why? Because a man who works in the gym as a personal trainer, usually they're in great shape. Usually they got big muscles. Usually they work out all day, every day, maybe twice a day. And the women who they're working with can, again, lizard brain realizes this man is very physically capable. And she knows it because he's helping her get in shape. So clearly he knows his stuff. And another thing that the man is communicating when he has things that other men don't have is he's communicating he'll be able to physically protect the woman when she is both pregnant and when taking care of the children while she is in a physically vulnerable state. She and the kids are in a physically vulnerable state. The physically capable man can take care of them, and the man who has possessions can take care of them in material ways. This is all unconscious communication, ladies and gentlemen. Man who is doing that second thing well, acquiring things and accomplishing things, completing missions, accumulating assets, he is well positioned to materially take care of a woman and the resulting offspring, which is a base level need for a woman, especially in a vulnerable state, such as pregnancy or early stage childcare. Good news for the men out there. Some of you may not be very physically capable, but you are very assets level capable. You can make up for what you lack physically with what you can acquire asset wise. Right? If you don't believe me, go to a place like, there are plenty of places you can go actually. Go to any wealthy suburban area in America. You can go to a lot of big cities, Vegas, Miami, LA, Atlanta, New York. Go to any wealthy suburban area, you'll see this. There are a bunch of them. Just look up the zip codes. And what you're going to see is a bunch of men who don't look physically imposing or impressive at all. Actually, they may look the exact opposite, but they have assets. And because of those assets, look at the woman next to him. Like, how is he with her? Or why is she with him? Well, I just told you. Point number 2, acquiring assets, acquiring material possessions, even though physically he may not have much. And on the flip side, this works as well. You may see a man who doesn't have much asset wise, but physically he has a lot. All right, women will be attracted to him simply because of what he can physically do, or at least what it looks like he can physically do. Don't mean she's going to build a family with him, but she's looking, she notices. Unconsciously, there's a conversation happening in her mind that she may or may not act on. Why? Because of biology. I told you, this is lizard brain stuff. So any mama who has a choice will prefer to procreate with a man who has or looks like he is on the verge of having material possessions to take care of her and her offspring, especially while she and they are in this vulnerable state. Now, while a lot of what I'm saying here in this third point is about what a woman wants, understand that men are hardwired to want to access women. Thus, the more we show our abilities in points number 1 and number 2, the more access to women we get. And this is point number 3. And when I say access to women, I mean women being interested in you because of what you are biologically showing, even if you're not trying to show it. Again, this even applies to men who are happily married, happily taken, and off the market. This applies to all of us, no matter what your status is relationship-wise as a man. You are wired to do these things. You're wired to show these things. And the result is always the result, whether you want it to be or not. All right. If you're one of the most physically capable men in town and you have material possessions as well, women are going to be attracted to you. Even if you're not interested in a woman being attracted to you, they're going to be attracted anyway. You don't have to try. So ladies, whenever you see a man going out and trying to show off his capabilities or show off the results of those capabilities, he is showing himself, you, and the rest of the world, including other men, in a subconscious way that he is a capable and desirable man. This happens in animal kingdom all the time. This is what lions do. When a lion, the alpha male lion in a pride, roars, he is letting all the males around, even the males in his pride and any males in neighboring prides, know I'm the guy. And if you want access to these women, you got to come through me. I have physical capabilities, and these women are my possessions. If you want them, you got to beat me. Your physical capabilities got to beat mine. That's what he's letting you know. Men do the same thing. We just do it in different ways. When peacocks show off their feathers, by the way, peacocks, only the males have those feathers. So what we know peacocks for is showing off their feathers. Only the men have those. The women don't have those. They're called peahens. They don't have feathers. Why do the peacocks show off the feathers? They show off the feathers not so you can take pictures of them. They show off the feathers because they're showing the ladies and the men that they are capable men. And they're trying to impress a lady enough, a hen, a peahen enough that the peahen will allow him to procreate with her so that he can make babies. Why? Because it's part of our evolutionary drive as men to procreate and create more copies of ourselves. The most capable men, going back, if we go back to historical times, a little bit different in today's society, but going back historically, generations back, centuries back, the most capable men had the most children. Why did they have the most children? They had the most children because they were the most capable men. Therefore, they're supposed to make the most copies of themselves because we want more capable men, and they can make more capable people because they're the most capable guy, and because the most women wanted to make themselves available to that man. So a man who is very low on the totem pole, he may not have any children or only one child or a handful of children simply because there were not many women willing to procreate with him because he didn't show like he had any potential. But the man at the highest part of the totem pole, he had 30 kids. Why? Because all the women wanted access. All the women offered themselves for him to access because of his capabilities that he was showing off. This still exists in today's world. It's much more cleaned up and much more antiseptic, but it's still a real thing. And you hear some red pill guys, so to speak, talking about this all the time. So this is not a conscious thing for men, by the way. I want everyone, men and women, to understand. This is not a conscious thing that we consciously think about. I've consciously laid it out so you understand it, but this is something that all of us live without thinking about it. It is hardwired into us. So don't make the stupid mistake of trying to beat or control this out of any man in your life if you're a female. This is especially important for those of you who are raising males as a single parent. We got these single mothers out there with boys. You do not have the innate hardwiring to understand what I've explained to you here today. You can understand it logically, but you can't understand it in your bones the way that I can. And the worst thing you can do, mom, single mom, is try to condition this out of your son simply because you don't understand it. What you need to do is make sure your son is spending enough time with his dad or some capable man who can teach this to him. You are incapable, you are unqualified. So this is a word of caution to all the single moms out there with young men, children. Let's recap today's class, which is 3 things that men at our core all want. Now, again, every man is different and unique in different ways. These things are universal. Number 1, the physical capability of doing things that other men can't do. This is reflected usually through athletic competition, physically fighting, making money, accumulating trophies, plaques, awards, etc. You see men showing off the things that they've achieved. Why do men always show off the things that they have? Because it is biological for us to show everybody what we can do, because it's a signal to other men, as a warning, is a signal to women, that as a mating sign. Number 2, have things that other men cannot have. This is generally expressed through the pursuit and possession of material possessions. Why? Because when you have material possessions, that's usually proof that you can do stuff, because how'd you get it? And it's also proof that you can provide for a woman, which gives you access to more women. More women want to be around men who can provide. And again, there are men out there who may not be that physically impressive, but if they can provide, that can more than make up for what they lack physically. Do you see this anywhere? If you haven't, you haven't been around enough. And number 3, access to women. Now, the reason we do number 1 and number 2, men, is because we want access to women. We want women to want to offer themselves to us, even if we don't want to take it. We love the feeling of knowing that we could get it just because we are who we are. Men appreciate this just as much as women do. Women will show it more often than men do. A woman will be flirty towards a man, even if she is married or has a boyfriend. And then when a man approaches her, she says, well, I'm sorry, I'm taken. She just likes the validation of the man coming and approaching her in the first place, even though she knew she had no intention of ever engaging with this man because she's already taken. The woman loves the validation. Men like the validation too. We are more subtle with our need for validation, but men, we want it the same way that women want it. Why? Because the more we show that we can do stuff and the more we show that we got stuff, the more women will want to be around us and want to offer themselves to us. And that validates our very being. And it validates basically the reason why we get up in the morning. And this is what testosterone and drive is all about in men. So if you're a man out there, please don't try to suppress this or act like it's not a real thing. It's a very real thing. And the more you embrace it, the more you will step into being who you truly are. Speaking of all this, go to Work on Your Game University. We have 3 different levels you can get in. We have the Academy, where you can take do-it-yourself courses at your own pace, where you get lifetime access to the material. We have the Circle, which is our group coaching program for people who want to get access to strategy and systems. We have our full coaching program, where you are working directly with me, and I am working with you and getting your system strategies and processes in place to execute and produce full results. All go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can see your options, see what we're doing, see how to get started. Work on your game. Dre all